I'm going to make you a promise most people won't. If you execute one commitment for the next 90 days, not perfectly, but consistently, you will not recognize yourself at the end. And here's the part that should bother you. It's not because you'll become better. It's because you'll finally see what you've been capable of this entire time. But there's a catch, and if you miss this, you will fail before day 14. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why most men never complete 90 days and how you become the one who does. You've been taught that discipline is about motivation, that when you feel ready, you act, that when you feel inspired, you execute. That's why you start strong and disappear just as fast. Because motivation is unstable. It rises, it drops, it disappears when life gets hard. So you keep restarting. Monday, next month, after things calm down. But let me tell you the truth most people avoid. Discipline has nothing to do with how you feel. It has everything to do with whether you have a system. 90 days is not a random number. It's a threshold. The first 30 days, you're fighting yourself. Every action feels forced. Every decision feels heavy. You're relying on willpower, and it's exhausting. That's where most people quit. Not because they can't do it, but because they're still negotiating with themselves. Days 30 to 60, something shifts. The resistance starts dropping. The behavior becomes familiar. You're no longer starting from zero every day. Momentum begins. And then something dangerous happens around day 60. You start thinking you've made it. You relax. You get comfortable. And if you don't have a system, this is where you fall off. But if you push through to day 90, that's where the transformation locks in. Because now it's not something you're doing. It's who you are. Let's be clear. The real transformation isn't your body. It's not your income. It's not even your results. It's your identity. Before 90 days, your mind sounds like this. I'm trying to be disciplined. I hope I can stay consistent. I'll do my best. After 90 days, that voice disappears. It becomes, I execute. I show up. I don't negotiate. And that shift changes everything. Because once your identity changes, your behavior follows automatically. You don't fight yourself anymore. You move. Here's where most people get it wrong. They try to change everything at once. Workout, diet, business, sleep, reading, cold showers. They overload the system. And what happens? They burn out. Because they don't understand this, discipline is not built through intensity. It's built through consistency. One commitment, executed daily, for 90 days. That's it. Not 5, not 10, 1. Because momentum doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing the same thing, repeatedly, without breaking. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. Never zero. There will be days you feel strong, days you feel average, and days where everything is falling apart. On your best days, you give 100%. On your worst days, you give 10%. But you never give 0. Because 0 breaks the pattern. And once the pattern breaks, everything resets. That's how people lose weeks, months, years. Not from failure, but from stopping completely. You don't need perfection. You need continuity. Now, here's what separates the men who complete 90 days from the ones who keep restarting forever. The ones who succeed don't rely on willpower. They operate on a system. A system tells you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, what to do when you fail. Because you will fail at some point. Miss a day, fall off, lose momentum. That's not the problem. The problem is not having a recovery system. The men who win don't avoid failure. They recover within 24 hours. They don't wait until Monday. They don't wait until they feel ready. They reset immediately. That's how the pattern stays alive. That's how identity stays intact. That's how discipline becomes unbreakable. So, here's what I want you to do. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, choose one commitment. One thing that, if you executed daily for 90 days, would change your life. Write it down. Define what full execution looks like. Define your minimum effort for bad days. And start. No overthinking. No planning for weeks. No waiting for perfect timing. Day 1 begins immediately. Because the longer you wait, the more you prove to yourself that you don't follow through. And that identity will control your life. Remember what I said at the beginning. If you execute for 90 days, you won't recognize yourself. Not because life magically improves, but because you finally become someone who does what he says. That's rare. That's power. And that's the foundation for everything else you want. Subscribe for more wisdom, and I'll show you the rest.